Yeah, so we are going to look at Surah 33, verse 6. Let me put that on the screen.
Right.
So on the left-hand side, where it states 1924, that is Hafs Quran, okay? And then Ubay bin Ka'b's translation or the version of the Quran is on the other side. Brother, would you be kind enough and then do the reading for us?
Yeah, definitely. It says the Prophet is more worthy of the believers than themselves, and his wives are their mothers. Okay, we'll just end there. That's the key part that we want to focus on. Here's the variant, right? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So the Prophet is more worthy of the believers than themselves, and his wives are their mothers.
Yes, that's the key thing that we want to focus on. We can keep reading the whole verse, but anyone who wants to just, pause and read. Okay, now here's Ubay, which is not just unique to Ubay, but we're going to go to Ubay bin Ka'b's right now. The Prophet is more worthy of the believers than themselves, and his wives are their mothers, and he is their father. And he is their father.
So in one Quran, we've got the phrase, he is their father. In other Quran, that phrase is not
gone.
there. So with glasses, without glasses, that phrase is not there.
It's not there. What happened to it?
Before what happened to it, why would that be problem, brother?
Okay. All right. We know that one of the reasons that you couldn't marry Muhammad's wives after he died, one of the reasons was because they were considered mothers to the believers. And this type of relationship is forbidden in Islam, as I said earlier on. So you couldn't marry one of his wives. I'm just saying this is one of the reasons. There are other reasons, but one of the reasons was because they're considered to be your mother. So that would make their relationship completely forbidden and permissible. Now, if that's the case that Muhammad is also their father, that means that his wives, who are believers, he's actually their father and their husband. So that would be a forbidden relationship. So someone like Ubay, he would have to have trouble with this. But it's there's another verse actually which specifically says that he's not a father to any of you.
Yeah, that's Surah 33, verse 40. Muhammad is not father. Yeah, Muhammad is not father any of your men, but he's the messenger of Allah and seal of the prophets.
Exactly. So in Ubay, and we're just dealing with Ubay right now, in his Qur'an, there is a clear contradiction in verse 6 to verse 40 in the same chapter. This one is saying he's their father, he's the father of the believers, and then just 34 verses later, he says that he's not their father of any of them, like the sister just read. So it creates a contradiction.
They would create contradiction if Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran survived.
Yeah.
So
and
it didn't
Ubay
survive.
is one of the scribes of Muhammad, right? He's one of the scribes of Muhammad.
The one you need to take the Quran from.
The one you need
his
to take
Quran
the Quran
didn't survive. So therefore, it's not fair for us to say there is a contradiction until we got the hold on of his Quran.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is actually let me move to the next page.
All right. So what we have here is...
Yeah, this is the Yusuf Ali translation of the Quran. Okay. Right. You can see it here. No, I'll hold this one. So you can see in here, this is the translation. So when you go to the Surah 33, verse 6, okay, you've got like this one.
Let's see if we can make you a little bit bigger. How can we make you bigger on the screen so that people can see that? Maybe this one? Yeah, try this one. You can show it again. Show what you were just showing again on the camera.
Okay, so this,
there you go.
This way. This is Surah 33, verse 6. And then you can see this is the, not this hand, I think. Anyway, this hand.
What are the hands?
The one which is underlined is the footnote of I think it's 3,674 footnote of
Yep.
Yusuf Ali. Okay.
3,674. Okay, let's make it big again.
Yeah, so this, whatever you are seeing on the screen is simply copy of that footnote. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is in current Quran. You just go and then buy it, and then you've got this footnote. Brother, would you be able to read it for us?
Yeah. So the footnote here, Yusuf Ali. In spiritual relationships, the prophet is entitled to more respect and consideration than blood relations. The believer should follow him rather than their fathers or mothers or brothers, where there is conflict of duties. Go ahead.
Just a second, brother. At this stage, as I listen that phrase, in my mind, it is a deification of Muhammad.
Yeah, it's very similar to what Jesus said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and that's a really good point. So there's a lot of parallels there. So then it goes on to say, he is even nearer, closer to our real interests. Not sure. Is that right? Is that
interest, Heidi?
Okay. Yeah. Our own selves. Okay. Then it goes on. Here's the underlying part. Here's the key part here.
Interest in our own self.
Okay. Interest in our own self. Okay, got it. Okay. And some qira'as, in some readings, like that of Ubay bin Ka'b, the one that we just went to, occur also the words, and he is a father of them, which imply his spiritual relationship and connection with the words, and his wives are their mothers. And then he goes on and talks about, thus his spiritual fatherhood would be contrasted pointedly with the, anyway, so we can kind of like, our main focus is on the highlighted part that he's confirming that Ubay actually did the qira'at of Ubay, the qira'at of Ubay read this verse with the phrase, and he is a father of them.
Yeah, and then he brings up story of Zainab and Zayd.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, in such occasions, this is very disrespectful to the Prophet. So to make sense of Surah 33, verse 40, they just need to get rid of Ubay bin Ka'b's version of the Quran.
Yeah. So notice the logic is not, in this instance, in this instance, they're not saying Muhammad said it like this, and he said it like that, and he said it like that. No, they're not saying that here. They're not saying that here. And they're also not saying, did Ubay learn this from Muhammad, and then did the others learn it from Muhammad as well? They're not saying that. What they're saying is this creates a problem. So we just like throw out that whole thing that we tell you guys about chain of narration. We have this authentic chain of narration. We have this science. It's the best science. Yeah. Okay. Well, right here we see that the real science, quote unquote, that they use is, let's try to save ourselves from as many contradictions as possible, which they fail at. There are tons of contradictions, but here's an attempt where they're trying to eliminate a contradiction, very clearly in the words of Yusuf Ali here.
So far, Mr. Yusuf Ali is telling us there is a Quran of Ubay bin Ka'b, and that Quran of Ubay bin Ka'b contains the phrase their fathers. He's right. Their father. And then now we've got Assad's translation, and then we've got another footnote here. He's telling us he's a bunch of names those people had in their Quran, the phrase, and he's their father. And then what else we have next?
Okay, now this one here. Now this one, for all the Shia out there, this one is talking about Ja'far al-Muhammad, which is Ja'far al-Sadiq, which is the 6th Imam. And then it goes on and it gives you the thing in Arabic, and then it goes on and quotes the verse. And then in the brown part on the very bottom, you guys can see the brown font in the very bottom, وَهُوَ أَبْ لَهُمْ, meaning he is a father to them. So you have one of the infallible Imams according to the Shia. So if you're a Shia and you're watching this, you can't just say, oh, this is a Sunni problem. No, one of your Imams, the 6th Imam, Ja'far al-Sadiq, said this verse in that same way.